Setting up your meeting.
Says we're live.
All right. I think we're live. Amazing. Good morning, everyone. Let me double check on my phone.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, yes, we are. We are. Happy Sunday.
We are live.
First time from my Gold Coast office and house and everything. We're in my office and my bedroom. I've got this whole sanctuary retreat here happening. This is Renee, everyone. So
good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy housewarming, Nat.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm having some people over this coming weekend, but this week is a busy week for us, doing lots of events. And I've set up my desk that goes up and down. I love it. Look at this. It goes up and down. A little machine, and it's just like, woo, stand-up desk. I love it like that. So this morning I thought, guys, I would bring Renee in because I happen to talk about her and her amazing way she teaches people about signature systems that are represented through visual models. And of course, Renee has written 2 books. And on the same day I spoke about her, she contacted me and said, sign me up for my third book publishing package. They go, that's weird. I just talked about you in my live this morning, and now you're like asking me about your 3rd book. So I thought, come on, and I'll interview you and teach these guys an extension to what I started to explain last Monday, which was all about once you create a signature system, it's really great to communicate it and explain it through the visual models, which is what I learned through Renee, and how I've implemented them in my presentations with my signature system. And I just thought, who better than the actual person that does this, in deep dives with people and knows all the intricate detail behind it. So thank you for being with us this morning, Renee.
My pleasure. This is my favorite thing to talk about in the world. So
Good. So let's give people a little bit of a background, first of all, who you are, how long have you been around for, because you've been around in business double the time that I have been. So give them a little bit of a debrief in terms of that. Let's do the intro. And
sure. So I started my career, I guess you could say, in the corporate world. I did accounting and finance. And then in 2001, I had my own little kind of, quarter life crisis, if you like, where I was just like, this corporate world is not working for me. And so I went on this whole personal development thing and I started my own consulting business. So 2001 was when I started my own business, and it's been through multiple kind of reinventions along the way, Nat, as that's kind of the life of an entrepreneur. But really, it was a few years ago when I really nailed down that my niche and my favorite thing when I'm working with my clients is all about this visual models and the signature systems. And that's just because I love efficiency. I love things being streamlined, and I love things being really clear and simple. And that's what a visual model does. Like, it's so great for, I know you talk about when you've got service providers, they can struggle to talk about and sell what they do because it's like they're selling hot air, right? It's an intangible thing. Like, how do you sell hot air? And that's why I just really, really love these visual models, because it takes hot air and makes it tangible and visible. And it's like, yes, people can actually understand that. And that's why I'm like, yes, I can help people with that thing. And that's what I really love to do. So, yeah.
And I love the fact that, so you're going to be celebrating 20 years in business. Oh my goodness. I was like, it was big time celebrations for me this year when we made 10, but yeah, it's wonderful, and congratulations. I love the fact that what you do and how you teach people makes things really simple. And because there's so much information and there's just so much, detail out there in the world, that, to break everything down just in 3 to 5 simple steps that explain how something would happen. Of course, there will be more detail behind it, but at the stage of people learning about us as business owners, I think you need to keep it simple. And is that the idea behind the visual models?
Yeah, it's to really, like, if you think about all those times when, you go to a networking event and you ask someone, what do you do? And then they start talking and it's just like this verbal diarrhea, and you're like, I have no idea what that means. Like, having these models means that you can actually give really clear, succinct messages. And so your audience will go, oh, I get that. That's awesome. Tell me more. You want people to get excited when you meet them for the first time and you talk about what you do. And so extracting from your brain these key messages into visual models really helps in multiple levels. Yes, it's great because it feeds straight into your expert book. So, you know, if you're writing a book with Nat, perfect, put your models into that book. And that, because that's also going to show that, you know, you're the founder, you're the creator of some really unique intellectual property, right? So that makes you a thought leader straight away. And it means you can write your book really fast because it's so easy to talk about your visual models. And it also helps you on all the other levels in terms of delivering your services to your clients, because you can really streamline that. You can, you know, do your elevator pitch like that. It's so easy to talk about what you do. And you can scale and grow your business. You want to bring new people on your team and you want them to deliver at your standard the way that you do it. You know, you don't want them to sacrifice results because, you know, they're not you. So having that signature system really means that you have that consistency of service and you can scale and grow your business the way that you want to.
It. And it is unique to you. And that's the thing that I love, because that's how you kind of trademark what you do and how you do it. And as I said last week, it's not like someone you have to be special to have a signature system. You just need to be able to communicate it clearly and succinctly. And I love that. Get people to the point of going, I get that. I totally get it, because so many people confuse others. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. Yeah.
I love it. So why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown, because I know you're visual and this is all about visual systems. And
let me show you some pictures.
Show us some pictures and let me sit back. I usually don't get to drink my coffee during Monday Morning Live, but now you can and you can
enjoy the coffee.
Yeah. All right. Take it away.
Awesome. So what I kind of realized a long time ago was that one of the challenges people have, obviously, when they talk about what they do and they do that verbal diarrhea, is they're trying to get everything in their head out at once. And that's why it kind of comes out as a bit of a dog's breakfast, right? Yeah. What we've realized is that if you divide that information into 4 different categories, you can actually have 4 really clear and simple messages. And so that helps you to streamline the way that you talk about what you do and have real clarity. So it's a 4 model system. So we've got a nice, easy acronym wrapped to remember what these 4 models are that you need. So you need one of each of these models to have your complete signature system. So the first model you need is the results model. And the idea of the results model, and for those of you who've done coaching, you'll get this, right? Because the idea of the results model is to show someone the difference between where they are and where they want to be. These are the results you're currently getting. These are the results you want. There's a gap there. And what does human nature want to do? Nat, you've done coaching. What does nature want to do with it? What do we want to do when there's a gap between where we are and where we want to be?
Fast.
We want to close it fast, right? So that's that purpose of that results model, is for people to go, oh, I'm there and I want to be there. I really want to jump up there and I want to get there fast. This person who just showed me this model knows how to close that gap because they do it for all their clients. I need to work with them. That's the purpose of that model. Then the next model is the answers model. This one is about, okay, well, these are all the obstacles that are going to get in your way. If these are the results you want up here at the top of your results model, these are all the obstacles. There's going to be a bunch of obstacles and problems and challenges that stop you from getting there. Well, these are the answers to those obstacles. These are the things that you need to have in place, right? And so these are going to be all the keys, all the pieces of the puzzle that you need to make sure you've got it in place if you want to be successful. So that's that second model. The third model is the process model. This is, what is your step-by-step process to get your clients from A to Z? They're getting these results. They want these results. How do you work with them? So the process model, we use it in our sales and marketing, but then once people have bought to work with us, they've said yes, they've signed up, the process model becomes, this is how you deliver your service. And you can package that at various price points, but you can have a clear 7-step process, or however many steps it ends up being, and package it at various price points depending on what people want to do. So say you've got a 5-step process, you might say, well, you can buy it for DIY for $500, or you can buy it with a group program for $3,000, or you can buy it one-on-one and it's $12,000, right? Yeah. So you can have the same exact system delivered at various price points, and what changes is how much of your time they get, right? But it's always, you're never only like selling a tiny piece of the puzzle. Then it makes it really streamlined to go, this is the whole package. You know, if you want to get the results, you've got to do the whole thing. And if you want my help with that, obviously you've got to pay for my time. So that's the kind of, the process model becomes the backbone of how you deliver your services and do it in a really streamlined way. And then the last model is the target model. This is about, okay, well, what are the benefits that we're actually targeting, or the key performance indicators? These are the benefits you're going to get when you follow this process and you work with me. You're going to get these benefits. Boom, boom, boom. And that's kind of your money shot at the end.
Yeah.
And then we wrap it all up like a big present, because these really are the gifts that keep on giving. And I know a lot of my clients, they say that all the time, is just like, oh my God, I just found another application for these things. And because really it does become the core. You put them right at the very core of your business and they just really become everything. Now, it's really great because it helps your audience in terms of the decision making, and it deals with both sides of the brain. You know, the results in the target model, they're really speaking to the emotional decision making side of your audience. But the two in the middle are dealing with that rational, logical brain that needs to have that certainty and understanding and that clarity. So we're really getting all of those needs met of our audience when they're making their decisions of whether they're going to work with you or not. So we're answering the why. Why should they choose you? Why should they work with you? What do they need and how are they going to do it? So we answer all those questions for our clients in 4 simple pictures. So, and you can actually deliver, you know, you can talk through those whole 4 models when you've got them created. I think the record, Marilyn Burton, one of my clients up in Queensland, her record was 3 minutes and 21 seconds.
Wow.
That she could talk through all 4 of her models, right? Anna Osherov, another one of my clients, did a 5-minute presentation, donated a prize at a networking event, did it in 5 minutes, converted 50% of the room into a half-day workshop in 5 minutes.
Wow.
That's how fast. That's how, you know, like when you get the power of these things, they totally give you an advantage when it comes to conversion rates and just having that understanding. You know, you really speak directly to your audience, so it's super, super clear. So you put them at the core of your business, and you can streamline everything you do. You can stand out in your industry and your marketplace because you are a leader, a thought leader, someone who's created some really cool IP, and then you can scale and grow your business by bringing other people on board. So yeah, that's it, Nat.
I love it. No, it's really, really cool. And for those people who've been to my half-day workshop, they would remember my little pyramids of, you know, where people are at, and, you know, the 3 key things to book success, which is, you know, what was it? Which one? What do you call that one?
The keys for success will be your answers model. Yep.
Answers, yes. And then we've got the step-by-step how to write a book in 48 hours, which is the process. I'm just trying to remember all your names, and then the targets,
the benefits.
The benefits, in terms of when they work with us and all that kind of stuff. So I love going through those, and it really is. It just makes it so simple, and people just sit and listen and they remember. The most important thing is that I love that people actually can remember and almost repeat it back to you, you know, when you have explained it to them. And that's rare to be able to explain someone else's business, you know, only after just hearing what it's about.
Yeah, that's right. And because, you know, we're speaking to people on all those different, you know, for all the different learning styles people have. They got the visual, the auditory, kinesthetic, auditory, digital. The models actually, when we talk through them, they speak to all different learning styles, which is why they're so, you know, it's like, yes, that's great, because people who are visual are going to see it and they're going to remember it. And then the people who are auditory, you're still talking about it. So they're still hearing you, but they're also, you know, we're also able to lock it in with the picture. Even if you just remember, oh, it was the pyramid. What was on the pyramid again? Yep, I remember that. So you can lock in all those. It's the recall on them is fantastic. And how amazing is that if your audience walks away and remembers what you said?
I love it. And I love how you explain that it takes care of the emotional and the logical side of our brains, because we know that we make decisions with emotions, but then we justify them with logic. And now we've been given our potential clients those tools to be able to then, if they go home and explain it to someone else, explain all the sides to it, which is just wonderful. So what then, explain to the people listening and watching these recordings and things like that of this interview, what kind of businesses do you think most benefit? I mean, you probably say every business.
No, I wouldn't say every business. I'd say, like, really where I've seen the most benefit is consultants, experts, thought leaders, coaches. If you're in that service-based business where, you know, it really relies on your expertise, the way that you do things, you actually getting results for your clients, you know, not if you're selling widgets. Like if you're selling water bottles, you know, it's not going to,
there's no model.
They can just pick it up. It's tangible. They can feel it. They can do it. They don't need models to sell that thing, right? So it's not for product-based businesses. It really is for service-based businesses.
Hot air businesses.
Yeah, hot air businesses. Exactly. It's for all the hot air people out there.
I love it. Oh my goodness. And so talk to us a little bit more about then, okay, we've got the models, but I love how you think and explain about further content development, how much like as you said, you can write your book behind the models, you know, I mean, that's what you always do. And that's why you also go away on a weekend and write your books. You know, you just hire us now for publishing, you know, and smash out your content. So talk a little bit more about how someone would use it.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, this is an it's really, really streamlined way of, you know, any sort of product development. So, and the way that I wrote book 2 and the way that I'm writing book 3 is, so that RAPT, that becomes the structure of how I deliver all my half-day workshops. So I run a half-day workshop in the order of that structure. And of course, you know, obviously I can do as I said, you know, Marilyn can do it in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. You can do it for a keynote presentation. It's like this concertina that expands. The more story you tell at each point on the models, the more you can have. So you expand it out to a half-day workshop, right? And, you know, those of you who've seen Nat do a half-day workshop, you've seen, you know, that becomes the structure, but then you add in all the other stuff to give it more flavor and essence and more substance, and tell stories and add case studies and that sort of stuff. So what I've done is in my half-day workshop, I did one when was my last one? In October. We recorded that, so it was done on Zoom. All our half days are online these days. Recorded the half-day workshop, got it transcribed, and my 48 hours to write my book will be editing that transcription. That's it.
Beautiful.
It's done. It's so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. And that's what I did for book 2. And it did take 48 hours for the editing.
Yeah.
It's, you know, but that's it. It's such a smooth process. You don't have to kind of, there's at no point do I sit there when I'm about to do a speech or, you know, write a book or do social media content, any of that stuff. At no point do I think, what am I going to talk about? Because the models give me an infinite number of talking points, which is that's
down every step in each of your visual presentations obviously has sub steps, you know, so you can break it down and
that's right,
and develop your content pieces.
Yeah, so if you've got a 7-step process, you might have so you can have one piece of social media content which is an overview of your 7 steps. Then you'll have each of those steps can become its own piece, so that's another 7 bits, so we're up to 8. Then for step 1, you might have 3 bullet points and they become 3 of their own pieces of content. So now I've got 3 times 7 steps, another 21 plus 8, 29 pieces of content. So that's 29 weeks. If you were doing, you know, one piece, you know, one main content topic a week.
Half a year, more than half a year.
Yep, more than half the year, exactly. And then you've got 4 models. So times that by 4, you've got almost, I find my clients have, depending on how many pieces in each model, between 1 and 2 years of content from their 4 models. So you can map out 2 years worth of content, 1 to 2 years of the content in about an hour. You map it out. Then you can record yourself talking about each of those things, get it transcribed, get your team to do all the repurposing, make the content, you're done. You never have to worry about all that thought leadership, authority content. It's just super efficient, super fast. Like, I haven't written a piece of I haven't written any of that content marketing stuff. I haven't done that for 4, 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah.
Stevie's been with me 5 years. I don't have to do any of that stuff. Yeah.
And I love the fact that once you know how to break stuff down like this, and it doesn't stop you from creating other visual models that will represent some kind of an explanation within a different subset of what you do, and continuing to like drill down and continuing to release those.
Yeah, absolutely. So I call those submodels. So say you might have like your answers model might have 5 pieces in it, but then one of those things is a really big chunk. And you don't want to then go, okay, now I'm going to talk about this chunk and there's like 27 bullet points. We still don't want to overwhelm our audience with 27 bullet points. We want to chunk that into between 3 and 7 pieces of information. So again, we want to, where we can, simplify and clarify our content in that way. So yes, of course, I love that idea of we create submodels for each piece where it gets into too much detail. We can add. I mean, I'm addicted to this stuff, so I will create a model about anything.
Yeah. Well, I love, you know, every time I sit down to think about what I'm going to talk today, like on a Monday, like Sundays I'll brainstorm, or when I'm randomly, like I've got my notes on my phone, I'm always like kind of going, well, what's the big idea and what's the steps behind that? And as you say, the brain loves 3s. Yeah. So, you know, here are the 3 key things you need to know about this. Or, you know, as you say, 3 to 7 You know, otherwise you just kind of, if you keep going, and I know I sometimes do my top 10 list. It's kind of a thing that sometimes it just, they're all my talking points, and I'll kind of break it down. But that's how I find it becomes really easy to expand on it and to just talk without having to prepare masses amounts of, like, you know, PowerPoint presentations and all that. But of course, because this is like for Monday Morning Live that I'm doing every single week, you could whiz bang it with all the beautiful imagery and all that sort of stuff. Because so in terms of creation of the visual models, maybe give people some tips around, you know, how you showed like a little present wrapped up, and I have like, I use the pyramid. What else do I have? The key to book success. So it looks like a key.
Yeah.
You know, what are some of like kind of your tips on that?
Yeah, sure. So the shapes we choose are actually really important. And when we're thinking about shapes, the shapes that are appropriate for each model is different. So for example, in the results model, we want a model that's actually, because we want to show momentum, right? We want it, so the shape should be something that shows momentum, and usually that's going up and often up to the right. So, you know, you could have exactly a pyramid is a great idea for that. You might have like a bar graph that kind of, you know, shows a little, you know, it starts on the left and it's little and goes up, 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 up. You can have, what else do we have? Some people have a path that shows. We've got one of our clients has got climbing a mountain. So you can have so metaphors can really be a great thing to integrate into your models as well. But it also needs to be, when you're thinking about this as well, you need to always have your audience in mind. And so before you create your visual models, it's really important to be very, very clear about who is your audience? Exactly. Why do they want you? What are they willing? What is the result or outcome that they're willing to pay for? Right? We need to be really clear about that stuff before we start. Because otherwise, you know, you don't try and create models that are going to speak to everyone. We need to be very, very clear about who that target audience is and what are the results that we provide them with. And that way you're going to create models that actually have got proper substance and aren't just kind of wishy-washy generic rubbish. So, so that results model, and so all the models, we want to make sure that that they are on brand, but that the metaphors and the stories speak to the audience, right? So, you know, I've got a client who does, you know, travel related stuff. So we've used an aeroplane. Yeah. But, you know, if you were working in corporate, it might not, you know, that might not make sense. So you've got to kind of think about which stories and shapes and pictures make sense for your audience.
Absolutely. Who are they? What do they want? And how do they live their lives? Right.
Yeah. That's right.
So
so the answers model itself, we want it to be parts of a whole. So where you've got the keys, because the answers model itself is kind of, you know, about keys to success. So a key can be a great one. I've got someone who's got a backpack, because again, that person who's got the hiking up the mountain, we take that through to the next model where the answers model is a backpack, because these are all things you need in your backpack when you go on a hike, right? Cool. So because she's actually she's a marketing consultant for the tourism industry, right? So this is relevant to her audience. To have that kind of hiking metaphor, you know, blended in. Then you, with the process model itself, we want to show it's a chronological order and it's a step-by-step thing. So very often, and I would say 99.9% of the time, we want it to be a linear shape, right? It's got to be a step-by-step. I want to see that there's a beginning and an end, and you know, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? And so often you'll see we have our process models, my clients' process models are always, not always, but more often than not, it's a straight line. It's a set of arrows that shows you we're going to get you from here to here. Because you've got to think about this. Now, you know, when our clients are willing to pay for a service with us, it's because they've got enough pain that they're willing to solve it with money, right? And if they're in pain, the last thing they want is a process that goes around and around in circles. And I'm going to speak to your coaching clients here, because, you know, for those of us who have studied coaching, we know that, you know, it's like, well, growth is a never ending cycle, right? We're always growing our whole lives. And so it could be tempting to say, well, you know, you do this process, but you go round and round for your whole life because we never stop growing, right? Don't do that shape for your clients, for your process model, because what that says is, oh, you're in pain. Well, we're just going to go around in this 5-step process, but then you're going to still go around in this 5-step process. You're still going round and round in circles inside your pain, right? That's subconsciously, that's what that's going to do. So you want to make sure that if someone's in pain, you're going to show them, I'm going to get you this process. We're going to get out of there, right? We're going out of there and we're going to get up to this other result. So get them out of that pain, show them in the shape for that process model that you are moving them away from where they are. That's a really, really important thing. I know it's tempting to do a cycle if you're a coach. Please don't do that in a process model. You will.
Yeah, not like the wheel of life. No.
No, your wheel of life is an example of an answers model.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly right. And I love that because, with the circle, as you said, you explained it perfectly. And I always say people want to know there's a start and a finish line. That's what they want to know. They don't want to know that it's something is open-ended, or as you say, in a loop. Okay. And we talk about that. We're going to be having our sales mastery masterclass this Thursday. And that's the thing that people, I've made those mistakes that selling my services in the past, in my early days, where I left things really open-ended. There was knowing, like, whenever you have a program, there has to be a start and a finish. Yes, they can upgrade to something else or something, another, solve that next level problem, right? But don't sort of leave them hanging. Like you said, ours is like a steps, like it is linear, but it kind of goes to the book at the top.
That's totally fine. Yep, that's all good. As long as it's linear.
I'm taking them up.
Taking them up is all good. Yep. So vertical or horizontal, that's fine. As long as you're not keeping them around, going around in circles in pain.
Do not do circles in the process model.
That's right. Yeah. And then the last one, the target model. This one really, again, is parts of a whole, kind of like the answers model. So, you saw an example where I did mine, where you put the think wrap system in the middle, then you get to streamline your business, stand out and scale. So that was actually like a target, like a dartboard, right? So it's like and what I've actually found over time, because I used to say for all the models, you want between 3 and 7 ideas per model. Right. But what I've found in the target model is really 3. If you can get it down to 3, it's better, because it's the last model you're presenting. And sometimes when you kind of get to the target model, I've had this before because I've had various versions for myself.
Yeah.
When I've had more than 3, like I've had 6 at some point, and like it feels like when I get to like the 4th and the 5th and I'm still talking, it feels like I'm going, and you get a set of steak knives and this, and it's just like, it starts to feel a bit awkward.
Yeah.
What I find in terms of the flow of the storytelling, like you've said, you've delivered, these are results you're getting, these are results you want, there's your gap, right? You've said that, you've got, okay, this is what you need, this is how we do it. And what you really want to do for this final target model, you want to go, when you follow this step-by-step process, these are the benefits, boom, 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 drop the mic, walk away. You don't want to, like, if it lingers too long, it feels like, it starts to feel, the energy of it changes. It's really interesting how I've noticed that over time.
Well, I mean, I love the fact that you've been doing this for so long and you have tweaked and refined and changed your models. Probably this is the 3rd time since I've known you and I've only known you for like the last 3 or 4 years properly. So the important thing is you've learned and deciphered a lot of that psychology behind them, and the look and how they should point and what they should look like and what shape and how many points they should have. Like really, like you go, that this works. Same as me when I started running the half-day workshop, and that PowerPoint presentation has changed 100 times over. And it continues to tweak and adjust. Oh, I should say this better here. And this is why this doesn't work. And so when people like come and work with you, I think they just shortcut having to figure out all the things that would have been testing and measuring, right? And trial and erroring. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is all I do in my business is I extract these models for my clients. I do nothing else. So as you said, I am constantly learning and making new distinctions about these things all the time. And so there's no way when you create the models on your own, you can expect to get all this stuff right, because it's just, I'm still learning. And I am immersed in this, all the time. So, and also, I wish I had a me to do my models for me back, 5 years ago. Then I wouldn't have had to have all these iterations, because I would have had someone else. You need that outside set of eyes to go, that doesn't look right. You just really, creating models in isolation is dangerous. It's like writing a book and not getting it edited and proofread.
Oh my God. And then you bring it out and then they show it to me and then I can't go back because they've done it already. And we can't fix the things that are all missing in there. I love it.
Yeah.
So tell me, you've got a couple of minutes to go. So how are you now running your business? Like obviously we've had the pandemic, and I know you used to run physical events. Have you moved them to Zoom? Is there one coming up? I know you also extended the offer to give my authors the Game Changer book. Is that right?
I did. Yes. So I'll quickly show that.
Yeah.
So if you go to, skip past that. If you go to thinkrapsh.com/48 hour, I'll send you a free copy of the Game Changer book. That's the wrong book in the photo. Sorry.
Oh yeah, wrong book in it.
Because you were talking about Game Changer in your last week's Facebook Live. So I'm going to give a free copy of this to anyone in Australia. You'll get a physical paperback copy. And if you're overseas, I'll send you a PDF.
Beautiful. That's amazing.
Yes. So the other question was about the how am I running my business? So yes, we run half-day workshops now all on Zoom, which we actually started doing that before the pandemic. So after doing 6 national tours in May 2019, I just went, I can't do this anymore. I really wanted to spend more time with my family. So I stopped doing kind of the live half-day workshops. Yeah. But for me, the pandemic's been a blessing in disguise, because now I think previously people undervalued online. They thought that it was the cheaper option, or they just didn't feel like it was, that they should be paying as much as they would if it was in person. But that the people's perception has really shifted now, and it's played well for my business. Half-day workshop online works really well. And then, and when we work with our clients, we have 2 ways that we help people extract their visual models. So we either do, it's like a DIY version through our Game Changer program. So that's all, there's a video here, there's a worksheet here, do this step, and it takes you through step by step, but it's not completely on your own. We build in that you have a one-on-one session with me to have that eyes on. And that's because quality control for me is so, so important. Yeah. I don't want people out there buying the thing, creating models, and then going out there with rubbish. Like, I really want to make sure we get that quality up. And I do notice that when people create them on their own, the quality is kind of between 60 and 80%. And then in that 1 hour session with me, I get it up to 95%. Yeah, nice. And then I have, and then for the more established businesses to work with me closely one-on-one, where I actually extract with you. If your solutions are complex, and you really need someone to help you untangle that mess, I work one-on-one with my authority accelerators, and that's really, I pull everything out in a full day extraction day, and then we have some sessions before and after as well, just to get all the clarity and stuff we need. And then my team does all of the graphic design for those authority accelerators. We create sales brochures. We do a whole heap of assets. So you kind of get a Dropbox folder full of slides, worksheets, sales brochure, all your models, images and videos for your social media. It's like a full done for you package. So where we really are, that package really is for the people who are already established and are, more time poor, and they just need it done for them. That really is like, that's the kind of our premium package. So
I love it. Well, I know at least 5 or 6 people of our authors and people I collaborate with, you've helped, and always whenever I see them and I go, I know where that's coming from, but it's unique to everyone. You know what I mean? Like I know they've worked with you, and because it's so well done, but I also can see how their unique flavor is across all of them, which is what we also intend with our book writing and authors. They might be writing similar genres, and there might be experts in similar areas, but they're always so unique, and
that's a really great point. And that's, I might have 20 relationship coaches who create their ThinkRap system with me, but they will all have completely different models, because it's all about them and what comes out of their brain. And because my job is just to extract what's in their head and shine the best light on it and make it look as professional as possible.
And make it also, I guess, match their personality as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because the language that we use is going to be unique to them. And I think about, various clients have various different language and the metaphors that they use and the way that they deliver things. So it's your models will not be the same just because someone has the same audience as you or delivers a similar service. That's one of the great benefits of it, really, is that it'll help you to stand out and show your unique selling point. And people can clearly see what makes you unique. So
I love it. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to get this live and go on my secret group for my authors, do a quick live, and then we've got our accountability call for our recent retreat from last week. So it's all happening Monday morning.
Busy.
Normal. So you're going to do the sign off with me. You know, I go smash it out, right? So we're going to go. So guys, we want to thank Renee. Contact her, you know, visit her website, get that book she offered, and of course connect. I mean, people can easily find you because you'll be tagged in this live, or you know, they can just look you up and interact and find out more information about what you do. But as always, have an amazing week, and Renee, smash it out. I love it. See you. Bye guys. See you next time.